Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining for this online webinar on role of AI in drug discovery and development and approval process. So we'll be waiting for another 2 minutes to start the session. So by sharply 10:30, we'll be starting the session. So we have all the trainers with me. I have Oma Priya and also Lavanya. And we welcome everyone for this online webinar, which is going to be a very interesting session. To be speaking on AI and how latest technology is going to impact on drug discovery and development process in clinical trials. So I hope my voice is audible, Dr. Pratibha. And
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we'll wait for exactly another 2 minutes. Lavanya and Uma, you are able to hear me well?
Yes, Mujib, we are able to hear you.
So if you wanted to switch on your camera and check it out, you can check it out once again.
Yeah, just give us 2 minutes, we'll do.
So we'll exactly start in 1 minute. So then,
Okay. Sir, so initially I'll be starting with the address, and then principal sir will be giving the keynote address, right?
yes. Then we'll start with my session.
Yes.
My session. Then
After principal sir session, I'll give your introduction as the first speaker of the session, and then you can start.
Yes.
Yeah, as per schedule.
Yes. So I think, Dr. Pratibha, we are exactly at 10:30.
Yes.
If everyone is fine, we can start our session.
Okay. Shall I start, sir?
Yeah, I think everyone is okay, then I'm okay.
Yeah, because our students will like join. They will be in seminar hall, and the link will be activated using one PC.
Yeah. So I think we are good to go. We can start the session. So we can start the introduction.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of LSHGCT's Gehlot Institute of Pharmacy, Koperkherene and Clinosol Research Private Limited for today's webinar entitled The Role of Artificial Intelligence in Accelerating Drug Development and Approval Process. I am Dr. Pratibha Daroi, working as Associate Professor in Department of Pharmacology at Gehlot Institute of Pharmacy. I am delighted to be your host for this exciting and highly relevant event. We are honored to have an esteemed lineup of speakers and experts who will share their insights, experiences, and vision for the future. They bring us a wealth of knowledge from various facets of artificial intelligence and drug development, ensuring a comprehensive exploration of this critical topic. Before we begin with the expert session, I hereby request our respected Principal Sir Dr. V.H. Bhaskar to deliver a keynote address for today's session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Pratibha Daroi, madam. Good morning, esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, and participants. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar on the role of artificial intelligence in accelerating drug development and approval processes. This is a topic of immense significance as the convergence of artificial intelligence and pharmacology promises to revolutionize the way we understand, develop, and approve new therapies. In recent years, we have witnessed unprecedented advancements in technology. Among these, artificial intelligence stands out as a transformative force capable of reshaping various sectors, including healthcare and drug development. Today, this webinar will help us explore more about AI is driving innovation I'm grateful to Mrs. Clinosol and their expert team for joining with us for this event. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I would now like to introduce the first speaker of today's webinar, Mr. C.S. Mujibuddin, who is founder and CEO of Clinosol Research Private Limited. Mujibuddin sir is a highly accomplished professional with an impressive educational background, holding both an MPharm and an MSc in clinical research from Manipal University. He has established himself as a leading figure in the clinical research industry. With over 15 years of experience in the field, Sir has worked in various esteemed organizations such as QPS, Perixel, Accenture, Oracle, and IQVIA. His extensive knowledge and expertise have allowed him to excel in his role and contribute significantly to the industry. Driven by his passion for teaching, Sir founded his own organization, Clinosol Research Private Limited, through Clinosol. Through Clinosol, he has been able to train and mentor numerous aspiring professionals in different domains of clinical research. His dedication and guidance have resulted in successful placement of over 1,000 students since 2019, making them skilled and career-ready individuals. In addition to his commitment to education, he actively participates in industry conferences and academia partners. Since 2020, he has been an integral part of conferences such as IICR, SCDM, ACRP, where he shares his insights and contributes to advancements in the field. Under Mujibuddin sir's leadership, Clinosol has achieved remarkable success and recognition. The organization has received 9 prestigious awards, a testament to its commitment to excellence and innovation in the clinical research skill development domain. As a renowned speaker at both national and international academic and industry conferences, he brings a wealth of expertise and knowledge to the stage. So with this introduction, I request Mujibuddin sir to take over the session.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Pratibha, and thank you, Gallot Pharmacy College, for inviting us for a wonderful talk. And this is to be an interesting topic. And I would request everyone to be asking more questions as much as possible so that we can have more of interactive session. So I hope my session, my screen is visible. Can anyone confirm if my screen is visible?
Yes, please proceed.
Yeah. So now, basically, I'm a pharmacist. I started my career in 2006 in clinical research when no one knows more about drug discovery and clinical research. And always myself, I had myth saying that we are working in a pharmacy and drug discovery process is very easy. And it just takes some time to discover a new molecule, a new drug. And always my parents used to ask me a question saying that, why can't you become a scientist and bring a new molecule, save so many patients in the society, and there should not be any disease or there should not be any disorder. So this was a myth of our parents, or my parents particularly. And they used to put pressure on me during my COVID time saying that, can you explain why you are not able to bring a vaccine? So I was not able to explain the whole process, how much effort it takes, how much time it takes to bring one new.
Excuse me, Mujib sir.
Yeah.
Sorry to stop you here. The students are not able to hear from Gaylord College. Your voice is not audible to them. So can we allow a few minutes so that they can check their mic settings?
Yeah. Please. I think if everyone is confirming me, then I'll be able to go ahead. Can I hold it for a minute? Or how do you want?
Please.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pratibha ma'am, can you just check the
Yeah.
settings? Because we are able
Yeah.
to hear you.
Yeah, actually, I am sitting in a different room, so I'm able to hear. There is problem in seminar hall for students, so I will just check it, ma'am.
Yeah.
Give me
So
2
I
minutes.
think within that time, I think what topic I'm going to cover, I'll just put some light on this. So I'll be speaking about
Sure.
what's actually a drug discovery process in the history. How history had a drug discovery process. Say, for example, there was a scientist who used to work in a lab, and suddenly he identifies something that, okay, this can be used as anticoagulant. And that initiated him to do more research on that particular molecule. In the similar way, there was one person who was working on some medications, which he thought this can be treated for small children. But that medication has become a blockbuster, which is insulin, which we are using. There was a small children who used to be put into a room who were diabetic, and they used to be left for die. So that was the situation when insulin was not there. And people used to leave their children in the room, and they used to see that, okay, before they die, they are dying in the particular room. So then one scientist came and he started giving the injection of insulin from the first patient to the 300 patient. When the 300 patient was being delivered the insulin, the first patient started dancing and started walking here and there. So this was the reality of the discovery and drug discovery. And if we don't have drug discovery process and methods, we are going to have more problems in the future, because the future, the most complicated diseases are going to occur. Like COVID, we have seen, there might be one more pandemic which might hit us. There might be any viral infections or any kind of activity which might hit us. And the future is most of the problems with virus or pollution or lifestyle diseases. Like say, for example, if you are suffering with high amount of fatty foods you are having and lifestyle changes you are having and high food of junky food you are having, then you are becoming more obese. So youngsters are having more obesity now, and they are ending up with the early stage of diabetes, and which is more dangerous kind of activity. And the second, I think very recently one research article got published. The people who never smoked, the people who never smoked one piece of cigarette also, they were getting the lung cancer. And we started understanding the root cause of this lung cancer. And we ended up saying that there was a lot of pollution in the particular places where these people were living. And the pollution was one more dangerous cause for the upcoming diseases. And one more is the pandemics, the viral infections. Anytime the viral infections can happen for a particular transmission, either it is airborne or waterborne or any kind of the viral infections can happen. And our scientists are day in and day out working on the few things which are viral infections, the pollutions, and also lifestyle changes or lifestyle disorder diseases. So now I'll be speaking about how history we were having and how current technologies is being used and how the future is going to be having the drug discovery. Because the drug discovery, earlier we used to say that one t-shirt suits for everyone, one t-shirt size suits or fits for everyone. But now the condition has changed that every medication is differently giving efficacy and safety. How precision medicine can be implemented and how precision medicine can be performed is something which I'll be going and speaking. So can anyone confirm if I can start my session now? Can anyone confirm? Can I start my session now? If my voice is audible?
Yes, sir. The problem is solved. You can start.
Okay, thank you. So I'll be starting about introduction to drug discovery. The drug discovery and development process is very complex, and it has multiple phases where the discovery has to be continued. And it starts with identification of target and also till it goes to clinical trials and market. So these are the different phases of the drug discovery. Now, basically, if we understand one thing, that do we really need new drugs for the patients, then might be my answer is no. We don't need new drugs. We need more important biologic products. We need more important vaccines. We need more important devices. We need more important cosmetic products. The products which can prevent the disease's occurrence, the products which can diagnose the disease occurrence, the products which can be 100% safe and having 100% efficacy, those kind of products are more interested enough for the scientist. That's why we are looking at drug repurposing or biological products, or we are looking at the devices which can identify the occurrence of diseases before it occurs. Now, very recently, I read one article wherein there was one device which was being developed. It can identify 5 years before the breast cancer in a female before it occurs. So if we use that particular device, we can identify a particular breast cancer in a female before 5 years itself, before it occurs. And we are living in a society where we have so much of data, so much of information, and we are using that information to understand the futuristic diseases. As I have already said that the futuristic diseases might be, one is your viral, and the second one is because of pollution, and the third one is because of your lifestyle modification. And the future is only for pharmacists. The future is for the discovery. The future is to identify the precision medicine. To future is to identify the safest molecule and having the efficacy molecule. And how are we going to do that kind of activities? I'm going to discuss. And one more interesting story. Earlier days, we used to say that lab to discovery or lab to patient or bench to patient. Now, say, for example, you have a bench, as you have pharmacy colleges, you have a bench and you start doing a discovery, A plus B is equal to C, and you come up with a chemical molecule, which you think that this can identify, this can go and meet your target, and it can give a receptor binding or it can give an efficacy. That's what is your mindset. But now we don't have that mindset now. We have reversed it, which is called as reverse pharmacology. We have a patient with a particular diagnosis symptoms. A, B, C are the symptoms, and we are identifying the gene which is causing this particular disease. We are isolating that particular gene and we are going back into lab, identifying that this gene, what particular drug can get associated. Now, earlier it was bench to patient, but now it is patient to bench. So now you have a patient, you want to identify how many patients are there. See, discovery process is not very simple, that you come and say that one day I will diagnose one particular disease and I'll give a treatment. You need to identify how many patients are been suffering, what is the age group of the patient, what is the gender, which is the races, and what is the lifespan of the patients, and how difficult it is to safeguard the patient and lifespan of the patient, and also the outcome of the patient, the happiness index of the patient. All these are considered to identify the disease to be targeted. So we cannot come in a day and say that, okay, I wanted to identify this particular disease and this particular molecule, I wanted to test it. So this is very complex to identify a disease itself. You first have to isolate a particular disease, and then you have to isolate a particular target. Then you have to isolate a particular molecule, and then you have to see the combination of the molecule with the receptor, and then you have to see the efficacy and safety, and then you have to understand its formulation, analysis, analyticals, and clinical trials, the doses and route of administration. Everything comes in the later stages. So now this is the introduction bit, that we need a drugs, we need a repurposed drugs, we need a biologics, we need a vaccines, we need a device, we need cosmetic products, and we need a drugs for a particular disease which can target for the pollutions or for your lifestyle modification or for the cancers and for the diabetes and obesity. So this is our introduction for drug discovery, and I'll be speaking about what is the importance of the drug discovery. So new drugs are needed for treating a particular diseases. So that's the first point. So you have so many difficult diseases which are untreated, or the treatment is very difficult, or treatment is long-term, or treatment is not safe. So that's where you need a developing of new molecules in treatment of a wide range of diseases. So till now also we have so many orphan diseases wherein we can have so many kind of difficult diseases which are not being treated. So now we need some of the diseases like infection diseases like HIV and malaria, and chronic diseases like cancer. See, now you might have got fever, and if you identify a drug for a fever, it might not be very useful because fever might go in 4 or 5 days. It's an autoimmune disease, or it's a disease which can be prevented with your immune system. But cancer kind of a diseases, heart kind of a diseases, or viral infections which can lead to most dangerous, serious problems for the life, we need those kind of a treatment drug. And next one, we need a drugs which can use for improving the quality of life. So quality of life is something which is more important for chronic disease. Now, say for example, I'm giving a disease called as schizophrenia. So now schizophrenia, there is so much of issues with the patient to remember what he has done, or what is his normal activity has to be done, or he cannot identify the people. So now in this kind of a diseases, how can we improve the memory of the patient and make sure that the quality of life of the patient, he can have emotionally fit, he can have physically fit, and he can have mentally fit, that to identify, okay, these are my people and I have to talk to them, or I have to walk in this way and I have to sleep in this way. So these are the one diseases where you can identify and improve the quality of life. Now, say for example, patient is suffering with rheumatoid arthritis and he is unable to walk for 10 steps also. Now, how best you can improve his treatment so that he can walk for 100 steps? That's something which is more important. And the last one is extending the life sciences or lifespans. So now most of diseases, cancer or HIV, it gives a death at the end. But how can you improve the lifespan, survival status of the patient for 1 year or 2 years with a healthier lifestyle, though the patient is suffering with the disease, but if he takes a drug, how can he improve his delayed onset of disease is something which we have to understand, and is something which we have to try to answer this kind of problems. So this is what is the traditional system of drug discovery. So the traditional drug discovery process was very long and it's very difficult journey, and many years and multiple regions have to be done. Earlier, we used to say drug discovery and development takes nearly 20 years, but it takes only 2 to 3 years of time to bring a molecule like vaccine, the COVID vaccine, the Covaxin vaccine or Covishield vaccine. We have seen where we have targeted this particular disease in 2 years, and we bought the vaccines and we bought the new treatments for the particular COVID time. So now first point, you identify a target, the researchers identify the molecules that are involved in providing or that are involved in the disease. So these are involved in forming the disease or pathophysiology of disease or the pathway of the particular disease. So you have to first understand the pathway and the receptor involved and particular target which has to be done by your molecule. If you are not understanding the pathway of the drug, pathway of the disease, and understanding the receptor which is included for the disease causes, then you cannot identify a disease. So that's the first step, which is target identification. The second one is the lead discovery, the molecule which can go and attach to a particular receptor, and also it can stop the particular pathway for that particular disease. So you have to identify the lead, or you have to identify the potential drug candidate which can go and interact with the receptor or particular the targets. So that's about lead discovery. After that, once the lead has been identified, the target has been identified, and you are identifying the in vitro studies that how the drug might give efficacy and safety, then you go for preclinical studies, which is the testing on animal studies. And this also we can go for in vitro and in vivo studies. And also we have got something which is called as in silico studies in the future, wherein animals might not be used for testing on new drugs and diseases. And you might come up with a model which is alternative model for animal studies. So we might come up with alternative models for the animal, and we might start testing on the preclinical studies. And the next one, which is interesting, which we are going to focus more today, which is on clinical trials. The clinical trial is the highest scope for all the pharmacists. More jobs are there in clinical trials, and human subjects are recruited to test their efficacy and safety. There are different phases in clinical trial: phase 0, 1, 2, 3, pre-marketing, and phase 4, which is post-marketing. And it has multiple objectives to test efficacy or safety of the new drugs or new molecules. So this is one which can be done with your clinical trials. And the last one is you get a drug approval in the market regulatory authorities like CDSCO, DCGI, or US FDA, MHRA, UK EMEA, and also TGA or PMDA or your Health Canada can approve your data based on clinical trials, and they can start testing your new drug in patients. Now, what are the challenges? The challenges are very clear, that it has high failure rate. So it's all assumption that this is a target, this is a molecule, and it can get interacted, and then it gives a efficacy. So high failure rate and long development timelines. So you have a patient in front of you and you are testing this drug for 20 years. And within 20 years, how many patients are dying? We really don't know. So long development times, long testing times is more challenging for the patients. Or you have difficulty in identifying the molecules as soon as possible to the market. And then last one, high cost is involved because you have to test multiple molecules. You have to identify the multiple receptors, and then you have to test the receptor with particular diseases. So high cost, long development, and also failure rate is so much high. These are the disadvantage or challenges of traditional activities or traditional drug discovery. Now, very interesting. So now the latest technology in drug discovery. So emerging technologies are there, which already we have put it in front of you. That is AI, ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning. We have enough data. We have put all this data to the system, and we have said that, okay, these are the drugs which got failed for this particular conditions, and these were the efficacies, these were the safeties. All the molecules data we have, all the computational drug discovery data we have, library we have, and we can use algorithms. So AI/ML algorithms we can use to identify the disease target. That's the first point. To identify the molecules, the lead molecules. And the third point, we can identify the alternative animal model systems also to conduct your clinical trial. And fourth one, the clinical trials, you can get so much of data and you can understand, you can predict that whether this clinical trial is going to be good or bad, whether we are going to get drug to market or not exactly. So we are going to have all this kind of latest technology in drug discovery. So emerging technologies are changing our world, and it's revolutionizing the drug discovery process, enabling the scientists to develop new molecules more efficiently at low cost. Quickly, low cost, and with evidence. So these are the 3 points. Evidence is there, high evidence is there, and very quick time and very low cost. So high therapeutic screening for identifying the drug molecules. So automated systems can screen millions of compounds. So we don't require much time. It can screen millions of molecules which are already there in the library of your database. It can give which molecule can go and suit to your particular disease. And the drug designs, the computer-aided drug design. So now say, for example, you have got a 3-dimensional receptor which is causing this particular disease and which is having this pathway. So now computer-based drug design, you can identify the design of a molecule which can go and attach to a receptor and provide the particular efficacy and also safety. So now system can be used, technologies can be used to design a particular molecule. Either it is 3D design, or you can have the based on the receptor, how you can design your drug. And AI/ML algorithms can be used. So AI/ML is artificial intelligence and machine learning. Algorithms or calculations can be used to understand and predict the future. The prediction of the drug discovery, whether this molecule is the particular suit for us, how much percentage of efficacy can be done, all these large data sets, and we can predict the drug efficacy and also the safety. That's what you call it as. These are the latest technologies which we can use for the discovery process. So this is about your future of the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So these are the steps for high therapeutic screening. So which call it as HTS. We identify the target first. So researchers identify the molecular targets involved in diseases by using the systems AI/ML. And we have a compound libraries. We have a big libraries which contains almost all molecules with a largest collection of compounds, and which we can use for the high therapeutic screening. And we go ahead with the third step, which is called as automated screening, robotics and automations. So automation is a part of AI/ML. So automation is the process where human work. Now, earlier days, if you want to write a letter, we used to make a paper and we used to write a letter. But now we don't need to do all those things. You go to a ChatGPT, put it a word saying that, okay, this is a prompt I'm giving. I need to write a letter to my principal for leave. So give to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will give very nicely saying that to the respected principal, I wanted to go for this reason, for this time, and this thing, all the content is coming. So this is automation. So everything is automated. You don't need to spend time for the things which are repeatedly done and which does not require human brains to think more about it, because already system has understood so many things and we are going to use the robotics for it. And next one, hit identification. So compounds that shows the activity against the targets can be identified with the hit identification. So you go and hit the target identification with a drug and receptor, and then see that what is the efficacy of your particular molecule. So now this is one more thing. And this is about your drug design. So how do you do a computer-based drug design, so 3D designs and all those things. So we can use computational drug design, wherein the computer simulations can be used and algorithms can be used for designing a potential drug candidate. Earlier, we don't used to have, we do just have some molecules which we assume that this might give efficacy and we just go and put it in your molecule. But we have simulation methods. So now you have a particular structures which are already been designed with the computer based, and we can do this kind of activity. So molecular modeling, so we can do a 3D modeling of the molecules. We can identify the structure of the molecule, the weight of the molecule, the molecular activity of the molecule, and which can get interacted with your particular molecule or with your receptor or not. Structure-based design. So this is more important. So designing the drugs that fits into active sites and target proteins, because the proteins are more important for treating your particular diseases. Either it is a receptor or either it is a kind of a protein or genomic which is being used for particular disease. And virtual screening can be done. So you don't need direct screening on animals to understand. Virtual screening can be done. Screening of large compounds can be done in silico to identify the potential drug candidate. So now this is about the second method, which is computational drug design. So earlier we spoke about high therapeutic screening, how AI/ML is being used, how the computer-based design, either it is 3D design or how it is going to attach with the target protein or how it is going to attach with active sites. We have already discussed, and how we are going to have virtual screening also we have already discussed. Now, last step, the AI/ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning in drug discovery. So AI/ML is the one which transforms the drug discovery by a vast amount of data which is already available with us, and it can predict the efficacy and safety of a particular molecule. If you have some structure of a molecule and you can go and say that, okay, this is a molecule I have and I have to test this molecule, AI/ML will give more information on this particular activity. So you can identify a target, you can optimize a drug, and you can also conduct a clinical trial design. It can give, AI/ML can give that how many subjects you have to take, how the subject have to be considered, and how the activities can be done. All those can be done by your AI/ML. So target identification, AI can analyze a large data sets of a target, and lead optimization, ML can used for predicting the properties of drug candidate. What are the properties? What is the strength? What is the body weight and structure, and all those things, properties can be identified. And clinical trial designs can be used. AI can help design of a clinical trial more efficient and more having the effectiveness for a particular disease. So this is about your the design of the drugs, and also how we are using AI/ML for the drug discovery. So now this is an interesting story. As I have already said that one shirt is not suiting for everyone. So one drug cannot suit for everyone. Paracetamol 650 mg does not suit everyone. It might have efficacy in a different way. It might have a different kind of activity. So personalized medicine and target drug discovery, or target drug therapies. So this way, we can identify individual patient-based treatment, and patient centricity will be more. So personalized medicine aims to tailor treatment. So tailored treatment, you go to a tailor and you say that, okay, these are my the activities which you have to do for my shirt or a pant or XYZ. So tailored treatment is more for individual patient based on their genetic makeup, and also other factors like how previously the drug was being giving allergic, and how we can modify a particular drug to reduce the allergic reaction and to improve the efficacy of the drugs. And it is being used for genomics, and also we can identify the targeted drug therapies. So now this is about your the personalized medicine. Now, how the future looks like, the future trends and innovation of drug discovery. Remember, we have so many problematic diseases. We need to use AI/ML, we need to use the computer-based designing, and we need to use the latest technology to identify a disease, or to identify a molecule, to identify preclinical testing, to identify a conduct and clinical trials. AI-powered drug discovery is the future. Personalized medicine or individual patient-based treatment based on the genetic makeup, and gene editing is one more future trends of your innovation for drug discovery. So these are the futures of your drug discovery which can be tested. So now this is interesting that I have to let you know about what is Clinosol and how Clinosol has provided so many activities for the youngsters like students. So we are a private limited firm. Clinosol has incepted in 2019 and we have national and international presence, and we have current offices in Hyderabad and as well as Canada. We started in 2019. We have given admissions to more than 1250 students. 1250 students got training under us, but we have placed more than 1057 students in clinical research, CDM, pharmacovigilance, medical writing, regulatory affair, and clinical SAS and HUR. And 2024, we are very happy that we have placed more than 70 plus students, and we have got back-to-back 9 awards, including Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Indian Medical Association, and National Integrated Medical Association for the highest placement for the pharmacy students in terms of clinical research. And we have more than 90 collaborations with your colleges, and also industry collaborations is 20 industry collaborations we have conducted. On an average per year, we conduct 50 plus industry expert and also webinars. So we conduct a lot of webinars. Please do follow us on our YouTube channel. You will have a lot of things. So now this is about the training courses. We provide training courses on CR, CDM, PV, medical writing, medical coding, regulatory affair, and SAS. We have industry association like SCDM, ACDM, ACRP, MEDRA, ISCR. You name it, we have it. We are internationally recognized organization. We are academic association with IPA and SOCPMR, and medical and scientific association like NEMA and SGP. And this is, I think, my last slide. If you have questions, I'm open for answering any kind of question. I have touch based what is drug discovery. Apart from drug, we need biologics, devices, vaccines, and also the future is on cosmetic products. How the history was there, what is the bench to patient and patient to bench, and what is reverse pharmacology, and also what is orphan diseases, and also what is drug repurposing, how the history was there for drug discovery, how much time it was involved, how much money and efforts were being involved, and how the futuristic discovery, like using the latest technology or computer-based design or AIML designs for conducting your discovery or target identification, lead identification, understanding about virtual screening, and also preclinical testing and clinical testings or clinical trial testing. So now if you understand about technology and if you understand about all these activities, you are very good to answer all the questions and you will be able to clear your interview. So interviewers are also expecting that to know more about AIML. And we have conducted more than 20 workshops in all over India, which included AIML in clinical trials, also hands-on workshop we have conducted. So please do follow us on our LinkedIn and YouTube channel to know more about it. And we are available on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as Clinosol Research. So I think with this, quickly, I'll stop sharing and I'll hand it over to Dr. Pratibha Madam so that we can go ahead with the next session. I'm open for questions, but questions we can take it at the end, Pratibha.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for such wonderful session and expert inputs. Definitely, we will take the questions at the end of the session. I would now like to introduce the second speaker of today's webinar, Ms. Uma Priya, who is Director Operations at Clinosol Research Private Limited. Uma Priya, with a distinguished academic background of MSc and MBA from JNTU, began her career in 2004 as a junior associate in medical documentation for US healthcare facilities. Over the last years, she demonstrated exceptional skills and dedication, which propelled her to ascend through various roles. She advanced to become a quality head and later transitioned into a project lead in clinical data management at Dimensions Infotech, a position she held until 2018. In 2019, Uma co-founded Clinosol Research Private Limited, where she has been instrumental in establishing and advancing the company's skill development programs. Her extensive knowledge and experience have become pivotal in shaping Clinosol into a premier clinical research training and resource consulting organization. Over the last 5 years, Uma's contribution have not only elevated the standards of clinical research training, but have also empowered countless students and professionals in the industry. Her commitment to excellence and her ability to inspire and mentor have made her respected leader in the field. With this introduction, I request Uma ma'am to take over the session.
You have to unmute, Uma.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction of mine. Okay. Mujib sir, are you sharing my screen? I mean, my slides? Lavanya, are you
I'm
doing?
sharing it. Yes, Uma.
Okay, thank you so much. So, for a better network connectivity, I'll be turning off my video. We don't have power here. All right. Thank you so much. And Mujib has already spoken about drug discovery process and how AI is transforming the way we are discovering a new drug, a new molecule, or how we are identifying new genes in achieving a better health. Lavanya, can you just move ahead to the next slide? We are speaking about artificial intelligence. Let us not get confused with this word called artificial intelligence, thinking that this is something that only computers can perform, which is beyond to the human brains or human, knowledge. So we have these artificial intelligence technologies since long, say suppose decades ago in the US, but especially during the COVID time or post-COVID, these technologies are invading even our Indian market, and where we are able to use this, and regulatory guidelines are also helping the developers, drug developers, or the pharmaceutical companies or the sponsors in providing regulatory framework for developing the drug using the artificial intelligence technologies. So where all we can use this artificial intelligent tools to apply in our drug discovery process. The first is the target identification. We all know that we have a standard process for our drug development process, right? So the AI can be used in target identification. We use some algorithms, and do not worry much about the algorithms. These are written by the computer programmers, but being from science background people, we are the people who can give these logics to them, give these use cases or the situations to them. Based on that, they will be writing a code, and they will be feeding the artificial intelligence systems, so that the system can take multiples of data, and then it starts identifying proper molecule based on its its structure, its physiological properties, or its chemical properties, right? So using the toxicological data, all this data will be keying in for a particular molecule. Then the system will be responding back to us when it is identifying a right data which we are trying to enter in. So we are using AI systems now for target identification and drug designing. So drug designing is a very, very lengthy process where you have to identify what is the possible candidate. You have so many molecules available, but of which can be the potential molecule that is useful for your particular indication. If you are making a drug for, if a sponsor is making a drug for hypertension or diabetes, you know, then this data will be taken from the internet, or from different sources, from the researchers, from the publications, from the public also. Will be collecting lots of data, and will be screening all this data, will be inputting this data to the systems. And this design is possible using the AI systems. What is the best possible design that we can make for a better outcome? Then comes a virtual screening. I think we are in full screen mode, Lavanya.
Yes.
Just trying to zoom it out on my mobile screen. Okay. So we have, as I have mentioned, we have so many molecules available for each and every category with different pharmacological actions, right? So with this database, when we are, inserting this database, when we are teaching the system, the computer, how to read this data from the input that we are giving, it is going to identify the compound from the library of that entire big data. If you could think, it's a very big data, which is really impossible for the humans to read in a short span of time. but computers will have a speed. It will have a very good processing speed. Within very short span, within seconds, a drug can be developed, screening can be done for the candidates, and they can give you the exact molecules or the matches, possible matches, where you can apply your next level of research. So after we develop the drug, you all know that we go into a clinical trial, right? We do the animal studies and then we do the experimentation on the human beings. So when we are moving towards clinical trial, AI can help us in managing the clinical trials very effectively, right from what kind of a study we have to choose, what is the design that we can choose, okay? And we have different study designs, we have different patterns in that, right? What is the best possible way, if it is a parallel design or a crossover design, what kind of a design can be chosen with this molecule so that the investigators or the sponsors can achieve better results. AI can suggest the sponsors, AI can suggest the researchers, AI can also suggest the investigators based on the input that we are giving, what next to be done. Lavanya, can you change the slide? Right.
I have
So
one.
why we have to use, yeah. So why we have to use AI systems? The biggest question. India is such a large country with so many population. We still have a lots of unemployment, but still why we need artificial intelligence tools. Artificial intelligence tools are basically used where there is a repetition of the work, where there is lots of human efforts are involved, where there are very strict timelines, when you don't have lengthy timelines, especially during the COVID. You all have seen that we need a vaccine very quickly. Generally the process will take 10 to 12 years. Minimum of time is 10 to 12 years. But if you are doing that research for 10 to 12 years and you are bringing that vaccine, obviously it is not useful, right? We need something in an expedited manner. We need something very quickly. In that case, these AI systems will be helping us very well. And post-COVID, this AI technology has grown to a larger extent, where we are increasing the efficiency of the trials, where we are achieving more success rates when it comes to patient screening, patient recruitment, okay, including the subjects. I'm using this layman term called patient here. Generally, we call subject in our industry terms, okay? So the patient recruitment, where can we find the right candidate for our study? Because, through ads, through something, recruiting is really difficult. Okay, through artificial intelligence systems, we are collecting all the data and we are putting it in a server, and from there the artificial intelligence tools will be reading what kind of a gender we need, what kind of an age group we need, which location we need. This data, the servers will be connecting, and they will be giving the information to the investigators, sponsors, every team member, so that they can decide on how can we choose the subject and how can we get in touch with them, how can we enroll the subject into the study. And even then we have enrolled the subject into the study, how can we make sure that the subject is following all the study related protocols, or the study is being continued and we are achieving good results. The initial cost with AI system is more. Only a few companies like IQVIA, very big companies, are investing their money on AI systems. But slowly, every other company also has started. The topmost companies have already started, using these AI-driven technologies. It is still under process. It is not fully developed so far. A few processes have been so far automated in India. In abroad we have so many AI tools, everyone is using, but here in India it's a bit slow because we are more used to the paperwork here. So it is being reduced now slowly, and once developed, the initial cost is more, but once AI is being developed, it can do the work, it can reduce the human efforts more, and therein we are achieving better, much more better results within very short span of time. And if you could see the technologies that we have used earlier, like the mRNA technologies, or if you could see the testing for COVID, some companies have used AI technologies in reading better outputs. So once developed, it can really reduce your cost, but initial cost is high. Lavanya, can you go to the next slide? Okay. So whenever we are speaking about a new technology, there will always be challenges, especially when human beings are involved. We have lots of human studies that we do in clinical trials after we complete our animal studies, right? So wherein we come across data security challenges, data quality standards, because the data is coming from different sources. These sources may not be the healthcare professionals. This can be a layman who is reporting, or anyone can report anything over internet, or anywhere in the literature we can find the data. So what is the quality of this data that we have gathered is very much important. So the drawback for AI systems of AI systems is, if you are dumping in wrong data to the system, obviously it will be giving you a wrong output. So inserting or keying in or feeding in the right data is always important. And for that, you should be thorough enough with the basics, with the basic knowledge of what has to be given to the system. You might have seen this robo movie where if you are giving wrong instructions or incorrect instructions, obviously the robot will be performing like a devil or an evil, right? So you have to give proper inputs to the systems, then only you can achieve better results. So to key in all these instructions or to feed this data, we need the healthcare professionals. Do not think that artificial intelligence system is something where you have to do computer programming and you do not know basics of using the computers or the programming languages. It is not required at all in the initial stages. First, you have to understand the basics of the topic or the subject. Then you can slowly build what has to be given, what should not be given. Okay. So if you are giving right input to the systems, you also should be knowing what is the wrong input. You have to make the systems understand. Human brains can think what is right, what is wrong, what is ethics, what is unethical, right? When it comes to subjects protection, well-being, this is the most important criteria in clinical trials. We have to protect the subjects' rights, safety, and their well-being. So when it comes to the subject's confidentiality, the data over the internet is always dangerous. So now we have so many regulations that are coming up, where regulatory bodies are also bringing new technologies or new regulations. Now we have ICH bringing A6R3, which contains lots of such regulations, where if we are using or transferring the data over internet, or we are saving it in the servers, this can be monitored properly and this can be utilized properly. So I have already discussed about the ethical considerations, right? When we are involving the human subjects, we have to make sure that the data of the human participants is safe enough, and we are utilizing it for a right purpose. Next slide, please. Okay. So when we speak about drug discovery and clinical research, these are the basic roles that you can start with as a fresher. You can start as a clinical research assistant. You can go as a clinical trial coordinator who works from the site, monitoring every aspect of the subject's journey through the clinical trial. And you can also work in the data analysis team, because you will be collecting huge amounts of data during the conduct of clinical trials. And this data can be analyzed using your statistical methods. Okay, these are the basic roles that you can take up as a fresher. And from here, if you are learning basics of computers, and you have to be thorough with the data. If you have to give the data or to insert or key in the data to the artificial intelligence systems. Next slide. Okay, I'll not be speaking much about the skills and qualification part, because Lavanya is dealing with it. This is just a basic information for you, that you should be having a strong basics in your relative subjects. That may be your biology, your pharmacology, pharmaceutics, whatever subjects you are studying, like chemistry or any other subjects. You have to have a very basic understanding, very good knowledge about your roots. Okay, then you have to know good statistical methods, okay, like your mean, median, mode, all these regression technologies and all techniques and all, you should be knowing the basics of the data analysis. And you should have a very good communication, which Lavanya will be focusing more about the skills and what can make you a better and the best employee, or how you can build your career. Okay. And obviously, you have to have a problem solving skills, because this industry is such an industry where everything is unpredictable. You never know, once giving the drug, which is new drug, you never know what kind of output comes, right? So everything is a question mark here, and you cannot predict this kind of AE can come, this cannot come. Okay. In such scenario, if something happens all of a sudden, how you are going to deal with that problem? So you have to be logically and theoretically coming on your career. Next slide, Lavanya.
Yeah.
So these are, as you progress through the, as I have already mentioned, you can start as a clinical research assistant or associate, then the coordinator, clinical trial coordinator, then CRA. CRA is a monitor who monitors or who makes sure that the trial is happening as per the regulations and guidelines, okay, standard operating procedures or not. So you'll be overseeing the entire activities of the clinical trial. And then going forward, within a 5-6 years span, you can become a clinical research manager. This is how you can grow in your career. Lavanya, can you move? Okay. So definitely AI is transforming. This is a very short time that we can give you a depth knowledge about artificial intelligence tools or systems. But definitely, if given a chance, or if we get a chance to do a workshop, we will be making sure that we are giving you hands-on experience to you on how we are, identifying the right data and how we are giving it to the systems and how we are building the AI systems in a hands-on practical way. Okay. So for now, I hope you understood that AI is not going to take away any of our jobs, but not learning, not keeping ourselves updated can take away our jobs. So, be that enthusiasm open all the time, network with industry experts, build a very good LinkedIn profile, and please follow what Lavanya is going to tell you about your, other skills that can give you a very good job. Apart from, you must be good with your academics, but this is not sufficient. So what else you have to focus or concentrate on? Lavanya will be focusing on that. Over to you, Lavanya. Thank you so much. Any questions will be taken at the end of the session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Uma ma'am. Next, let me introduce our next speaker, Ms. Lavanya, who is working as Director, Training and Development at Clinosol Research Private Limited. She is MSc in Biochemistry from University of Madras and also certified in Holistic Living Skills, which covered WHO recommended living skills, communication and leadership qualities. She has worked as junior manager in clinical research at Dr. Reddy's Laboratories in Hyderabad, India, where she monitored an in-house biological molecule and was deeply involved in all aspects of clinical monitoring. She has also worked as clinical research associate at Sairo Clean Farm India in Mumbai from November 2006 to March 2008. There she monitored 3 phase 2, phase 3 trial for a global sponsor, showcasing her ability to manage complex clinical trials. Her career in clinical research began at MV Hospital for Diabetology at Chennai, where she served as a clinical research coordinator. At this leading institute for diabetes management, she coordinated 3 diabetology trials and assisted in an in-house research study on the effects of yoga on diabetes management. With this short introduction, I would like to request Lavanya madam to take over the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Pratibha. That was a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. Okay, I think Uma gave you a basic idea about what I'm going to speak. It was, I'm going to talk to you all about the importance of business communication. Okay, so very soon, all of you are going to step into the real world, into the world of, the employment, career opportunities, research. So something that is a very, very important skill apart from your, subject knowledge is business communication. It's just not your regular communication skills, right? Most of us, we do speak well, we know how to speak, where to speak. But when it comes to speaking in a work environment, it involves a unique set of skills. You have to be mindful. It's a very, a complex mix of things. It is a good communication skills. It's a mix of good subject knowledge. It's a lot to do with your confidence, body language. So all these things comprise business communication. Okay. So now that you are starting to prepare for interviews, you will start facing the real world. I would urge you all to start working on these points. Okay. Your subject knowledge, work on that. That is something important. You've been studying that for 4 years, 5 years now, but now it's the right time for you all to start focusing uniquely on your business communication skills. I don't know how many of you all here actually know that story. When we talk about the first man who stepped on the moon, we always think of Louis Armstrong. I don't know if you know that. But then actually the first person who was to step on the moon was not Louis Armstrong, but his colleague Buzz Aldrin. But for that one single second, he didn't have that confidence and he was like, no, and he hesitated. And then Louis Armstrong came in and, now the entire world remembers him. So confidence is a very, very important aspect of business communication. Tomorrow, I think from Uma's speech, Mujib's speech, you'll realize, right, and understand clinical research is a global industry. From day one, when you're working in the industry, you're going to be interacting with multiple stakeholders, CROs, international sponsors, to some extent, some regulatory authorities. And for this, you need to have the language skills, the communication ability, and confidence to interact with them. So the reason we are talking to you about business skill communication is for two reasons. One is for your job interview, and two, to prepare you as a employee, as a professional. There are some qualities that you should possess when you step into the industry. So we'll just have a brief look about interview and then we'll go on to looking at us as a professional. Okay, so when you go for an interview, like I told you, communication skills are very important. What is communication? It's just not what you talk, okay? It is a mix of all the abilities that you can possess in terms of listening, reading, speaking, and writing. When you listen well, when you listen to what your colleague has to say, when you're working in the lab and you have another researcher talking to you, when you listen well, you are able to understand well, so therefore you speak well. When you read well, when you are able to gather a lot of information, again, you are able to write well. Writing, if you're going into hardcore research, you're going into drug discovery, you're going to be working in lab, reading and writing are going to be very, very important skills to possess. So when you go for an interview, right, you work on your subject knowledge, you go prepared, then you work on your communication skills. The other thing that is very important while preparing for an interview is to start working on your aptitude test, on your reasoning. Like Uma was talking when she was presenting on her slides, right? She told that drug discovery is like, puzzles. You're all constantly solving puzzles. You're trying to think out of the box. You want to, make unique decisions that will enable you to make better discoveries. And how does a company know that you possess all these, that you can think creatively, or you can look at a problem uniquely and help them solve it and bring out the next molecule? Is only by assessing your aptitude skills. That's why many, many companies now have made aptitude test mandatory. So after your first round of interview, which is usually telephonic, the company send you links to take out psychometric tests. They ask you to take reasoning test. So all this helps them to assess how can you think out of the box, what is the problem solving skills that you will bring to the table. So start preparing for aptitude tests. If you go online, you will have a lot of free tests that you can take. And this will be a very important skill that you can work on. So when you go for an interview, you're not shocked. You don't go unprepared. You know that this will be a part of it. And you have done some amount of work and preparation for your aptitude test. So these two are something that you can individually work on yourself, right? Your communication skills and preparing for tests. Now, the other very, very important thing especially in clinical research industry, right, which is very, very global. It's global right from the beginning. Okay, so the other very important skill you need to possess is networking. Networking is like you have a group of friends, you have friends, they introduce you to your friends. So your friend circle is very big. Tomorrow you have a college event, you have a big list of students to actually call out because friends will refer friends, they become your friends. But similarly, you now start to build this kind of a network in your professional lives. Okay, start interacting with industry leaders, start getting to know them. Your professors will bring in a lot of speakers. They will have a lot of contacts. Start noting down names, start reading into the work they do. So that is how you will start building your professional network. So this is a very old or, a corporate sentence that you would come across frequently. Your network is your net worth. So the more industry people you know, the more relevant you are going to be in the industry, right? You know, you might have all the skills, have all the knowledge, but how do you stand out? There will be somebody in the industry, they are going to refer you. They might refer your name to another organization. They might refer your name to their own organization. So these are the many ways into which you end up entering the industry or getting into your first role. So how do you start professional networking? Right now your circle will be very limited to academics or your colleague or your friends who are students of the same college. So how do you start building a network, right? You need to start working on this like from now. So go on to LinkedIn, create a LinkedIn profile, start following industry leaders, start following companies whose work interests you. You will see they post a lot of their research, they post job openings, they post internships. So start following companies. Start doing certification courses, right? Like this is where companies like ours, we help you, right? So we do a lot of upskilling, we do a lot of courses, we bring in a lot of industry experts. So once you're into such courses, you're going to interact with, like-minded people who going ahead are going to be your colleagues. Okay. Start sharing content, write small articles or something that interests you, post it on LinkedIn, tag people, they will start giving their opinion, you start interacting in a professional way. So the other way to build your network is to attend industry event, right? There are placement drives. Very recently, Clinosol, we did a very, very big event in Hyderabad. We partnered with the Indian Pharma Association and did their placement conclave. So start attending events like this where you're going to meet people from the industry who are going to, talk the same language as you are, who are looking for a similar career growth or who have worked and who can give you guidance to move ahead. Attend conferences. I'm sure your college must be bringing a lot of events. So participate in conferences, get to know who are the keynote speakers, attend other university events. So this is how you start building network. Yeah, so for me to basically sum it up for you all, start working on your professional image from now. If you're 6 months away, this is a great time to start. Start acting like you have entered the industry in terms of your appearance, in terms of your dressing, in terms of your language, in terms of building your network. Another very key aspect is to start working on your CV. Go through your CV, see what all you need to be on your CV for a job that you are looking at. Okay, suppose you're looking at a monitoring job. What are the skills that a clinical research associate will need? Technical skills, okay, I have my education I have. So what do I need? Do I need time management? Do I need to work on my communication? Start identifying the gap areas and start working on that. Okay. You can take up courses. There are a lot of courses that we offer. There are courses on internet. So start inquiring and start preparing your a professional CV. So that is all it is from my end. So start working on all your required skills right now. It's a great time to start. We are always there to you can reach out to us. So apart from all the theory and other technical skills, we also help you write your resumes. We do a lot of placement drives. So if you need any help, assistance, you can always reach out to us. Thank you. Any questions you all have, we'll all collectively take it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lavanya ma'am. If the students are having any questions, you may please convey it.
Yeah, and one more thing, Dr. Pratibha, we have posted our the feedback form in the YouTube. Students can give the feedback. I will be sending the feedback form also separately to
Sure,
your
sir. Sure.
college.
Yeah.
Almas, if you can share the feedback form with the Gaylord College, so they'll be able to share it with their students.
Yes, Mujib, I'll be doing that. I'll be doing.
Yeah, and
Yes, yes, yes.
sorry, we have posted our the feedback form.
Mujib, your voice is trailing a bit.
Now is this audible enough? Yeah. So we'll wait for some questions. Students have any questions? We'll take some questions, and we have already given the feedback form in the YouTube channel. So we are open for questions from Gaylord College or any students from seminar hall. They have some questions, we'll be able to answer. Myself, Uma, and Almas, and also Lavanya is also there. So we can take some questions if they have any kind of questions or doubts that about career or any kind of things. Or any questions from Gaylord College, we are okay to answer any kind of questions from Gaylord College.
Sir, do you have any case study related of this AI in the drug discovery as it now?
Yeah, we have a course which we deliver for AI ML for clinical trials and drug discovery. So we conduct a hands-on workshop also 2 days, 3 days, and 4 days. Where in morning hours we take sessions and afternoon hours we give some situations and scenarios for AI ML. So artificial intelligence and machine learning. So my sincere request is we have to first get into the basics of clinical research and drug discovery process and clinical trial whole process, like risk-based monitoring or virtual trials or digitalization in the clinical trial, automation in clinical trial. Then later on, we can go ahead with how the AI can be utilized in terms of making the automations and making the time and efforts and everything as less. AI is a very broader term, and we have created a curriculum which is customized, and we can conduct uh, a separate workshop for your students for AI/ML and clinical trials also. So we can have that further discussion, but we have a very standard curriculum for AI also. We have courses for AI.
Is it necessary to learn AI?
It's not necessary to learn AI, but at least we should know what is AI, or else we cannot give the requirements to the IT people who are really working on AI. So the problem here is the IT people does not know what is the drug discovery process and how this all happens. We are the one who are the stakeholders, owners of the drugs and the diseases and the patients. And if we have very strong knowledge on all these three things, we should be able to tell to the IT professionals that, okay, we need this kind of thing. But some of the companies are looking in a very different way, that they wanted people who are both pharmacists and also technologically strong, and also very high-end communication skills. Either it is networking or communication, writing, speaking skills. So companies are looking at a person who can be multitasking, who knows clinical knowledge, who knows technological knowledge, who knows regulatory knowledge, who can speak, who can write, who can do anything. So that's what is companies' understanding. But learning AI is wonderful. We can learn and we can implement AI during our activities, which can reduce the time and which can implement the automations also.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, as you mentioned one point, so one question is, you mentioned at one point AI accelerate your drug discovery. So it is like that in silico studies, how it helps AI for the drug discovery and development.
Yeah, see, the basically one thing we should understand is everything virtually we are trying to do. Even the clinical trials also we are doing to do virtually. And this is one more time, it's a use of AI. that if it's a predicting about the existing data and how preferably it gets the result, how much percentage accurate results we are going to get. We are not saying that in silico studies will completely take off the preclinical studies. We are saying at least in silico studies can give a prediction that this molecule can have this much percentage of efficacy and this much percentage of safety. So the prediction is more in terms of when you use AI ML and data science. So that's what we are trying to tell. So we are not saying that if you use in silico studies, complete preclinical studies will go. We are saying that in collaboration with in silico studies, if you do, you are going to reach to a market as soon as possible. You have more evidence because it's a data-centered, data digitalized world. Because people does not listen to my words, people does not listen to what we give information, but they all only believe on data. So how much you can generate the data from the existing studies and from the in silico studies all together, we put it and we use AI system to analyze the data and give out outcome of a data in a very stepwise, proper manner. Then I think we are in a good shape for using AI. So AI is not a technology. AI is a system where we can utilize everywhere. So you just have to understand the process and then we just have to implement AI. Everywhere we can implement AI. So say, for example, Google Maps uses AI. My office location uses AI. Everywhere we have AI. Even my watch uses AI. So how much time I have to sleep, how much I have to eat, how much I have to walk, everything is AI. So it's a data-driven world. And our future of diseases is data-driven diseases. Now, pharmacists are not meant to just dispense a drug. Pharmacist is meant to understand about the patient disorders, history, other diseases, other drugs, other how much workout, how much sleep, how much stress, how much calories, everything together is data. And based on all this data with your disease, how treatment you can give is something which is AI. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
there
Thank
is
you so
some
much.
question.
Yeah.
There is a question from students. What are the career opportunities in clinical research and what is the pay package for beginners after completing the clinical research course in
Yes.
industry or in CROs?
Yeah, so clinical research, there are 4 organizations which provides the job opportunities. One is IT companies like TCS or Cognizant and Wipro and all those companies provide the opportunities. I have worked in Accenture, Almas have worked in Wipro, and Lavanya has worked in IT companies. So IT companies is the first thing. And the second thing is CROs. Like all top 10 CROs are in India. Either it is IQVIA, PPD, LabCorp, or Covance, or Parexel. All the top 5 companies in the world are in India. So the second one is CRO. And the third one is SMOs or hospitals, where you can work at the trials, clinical research trial sites. That's the third one where you can work. And fourth one is sponsor companies, like Lavanya has worked in Dr. Reddy's. So Dr. Reddy's is a sponsor company where they can work on the pharma industry. So there are 4 types of company: pharma industries, CROs, ITs, and clinical research site hospitals. So every role has a different salary and different growth level. There are different standards of the roles. I think that requires one more different session. Definitely, we'll try to take one more session on this topic. But on a nutshell, if we say clinical research career is very good, salaries depends on company, location, position, your qualification, your capability. Salary is not dependent on a generic version. So salary will depend on a location of the company, type of the company, standards of the company, and also your knowledge, your qualification, your training certificates, your capabilities, your capacities, your skills, everything together, it is involved in the salary. At this point in time, if you ask me salary, I might not be able to tell, but on average, the salary starts from 2 lakhs. It goes till 9.5 lakhs also. So for a fresher, the highest package we have got is 9.5 lakhs for a PharmD and 7.2 lakhs for a B.Pharm, highest salary for a fresher. So that's about clinical research. There are different opportunities. CRC is there, CRA is there, TMF is there, project manager is there. clinical pharmacists are there, HEORs are there. So different roles are there in clinical research itself. I think Lavanya is the right person to give a big list of jobs, and she has nice slides for the different opportunities and salaries and roles also.
Sir, may I know why the salary difference between PharmD and our pharmacies?
Basically, there is a difference between the qualifications, the B Pharm and PharmD, and it all depends on the standard to standard. There are some companies who say that PharmD and B Pharm salaries will be same. There are some companies who says that PharmD and B Pharm salaries are different. And here I wanted to stress on a point that's completely management decision to take it. The company management decision to take it. It's not Clinosol or it's not Galot Pharmacy College. It's all depend on the company whom they want to hire. Some companies strictly come and say that we need PharmDs. Some companies say that PharmDs, B Pharm, M Pharm we will take. So it all depends on company to company and their management decision to take it. So we cannot say that, okay, why are we taking only PharmDs or B Pharm? There might be difference also, yeah.
But you must have faced so many students from different PharmDs, and did you find any difference in between PharmD and our B Pharm?
Definitely there will be difference because PharmDs go for 1 year of internship, and they go to hospital and they work very near to patient and they report the cases, they submit the articles and so many kind of things. So there is definitely some kind of a clinical knowledge is more in terms of PharmD when it is compared to B Pharm. B Pharms are more, when PharmD was initiated, the objective of PharmD was patient centricity.
Yes, yes.
Near to patient. And objective of B Pharm was to work near to production or research and development, not at the patient. So we were not having very nearer to patient. Earlier, we just had a pharmacy practice. But PharmD was initiated to come along with the patients. So now, to be honest, clinical research is more towards patients, more towards discovery. And why clinical research is in super hit is because everyone is working on new molecules. Now, future is about new molecules. Future is not about the existing molecules. We are not bothered about existing molecules. Highest paid people are clinical researchers. Highest paid, either it is pharmacovigilance or data management or medical writing or regulatory affairs or HEOR. Highest people paid are clinical research. And the conferences which are happening, I think the ISCR is conducting an PB symposium in Mumbai only. So already, I think Almas would be in contact with your college. We are sending nearly 40 students for this conference. And this is wonderful opportunity to meet with all industry experts. I'll be speaking. I have a speaker slot on the ISCR PB symposium.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think so many questions, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, one last question.
Yeah,
What
please.
advice you would like to give to our graduate students, the B Pharma students, those who are aspiring to take career in clinical research? So what
Yeah.
should they do along with their regular academic related courses?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I think students, at least they are asking this question now only, rather than going out of the college. See, the first thing, foremost thing, companies are expecting more of clinical knowledge, technological knowledge, advancements, and also more of communication skills, convincing skills, project management skills, leadership skills, innovation skills, more of IT skills like Excel presentations, more of blogs, presentation, articles, and more of certification courses, more of how industry is getting collaborated, more of conferences, more of industry experts, more of networking, more of LinkedIn. All this together, industry is expecting. So now, students, I would really want you to come out of your comfort zone, get into LinkedIn, get more connections, learn more, try more, improve your technological knowledge, improve your clinical knowledge, improve your regulatory knowledge, go and read regulations, go and read clinical research, go and read technology, learn technology, understand data science, understand how to prepare the presentations, understand how to go to the stage and how to speak and how to convince an interviewer that I am the best fit for your source, how you can communicate, how you can convince, how you can do a leadership, how you can bring a innovation, how you can do a problem solving, all those things the companies are expecting. So companies are not expecting one thing, just your certificates and percentage. Companies are expecting 100 things, 100 things in you. Days have gone where we used to say that, okay, there is one job, only one person is going. For one job, there are 200 people, 300 people are going and fighting for each other to get that one particular job. The highest paid jobs, the highest career jobs is the clinical research.
Thank you so much, sir. So, on behalf of management, principal, faculty, and students of Gehlot Institute of Pharmacy, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the team Clinosol for your valuable guidance in today's session. Your expert comments on AI-driven drug discovery, challenges in drug discovery that the AI is going to overcome, and how it is accelerating drug discovery process helped us understand how we should develop ourselves to adapt to the changing scenario in healthcare. The session also covered that what AI transformation is believed to change in our current career domains. So, which is a very interesting change, and that's why as per our curriculum, what development should be brought in so that the students can adapt easily to the transformation with respect to AI and other domains. Thank you so much, Mujibuddin sir, Uma ma'am, and Lavanya ma'am for your valuable inputs. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, can I ask people to stay back for a minute so that we can continue this call?